Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers.
So the 114 is pretty common now. Old Overholt.
Now it is.
Now. At one point, it was just Pennsylvania and Ohio. No, it was just Pennsylvania. Then it became Pennsylvania, Ohio. And then it became rare. Like, maybe we won't do it all the time. Now it's common in Pennsylvania and Ohio. I don't know outside of that. I don't know that I've seen it. I haven't looked. But this is at least available.
How available was it about 3 years ago?
Not.
Okay.
3 years ago, Chris and I, that's when it was limited, right? 3 years ago was about for the 114? No.
Right? Was it only 3 years ago when that came out?
So the club is 5. So the club is on year 5. So 2 years ago.
We were into this before the club, though, right?
Right. So 3 years ago, it wasn't that available. It was limited at that time.
Oh, I see what you mean. Because it came out and then it didn't. Yes. Then it was, yeah.
Yes.
And then it came back, yeah.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
So at the time, it was limited. They did not know how much they would make, how
they really
available.
kind of entered into it with like dipping their toes because they were kind of afraid. I think they were kind of afraid it wasn't going to do well.
They did the same with the Monongahela 10 and 11. In fact, the 10 year, they said, limited, we won't do any more. And then the next year, no, 2 years? Maybe 2 years after that, they did 11. So that they have a history of like, I don't know if this will do well. Yeah. Like it's, how do I put this? I feel like Beam has a history of like, I don't know, we'll say it's limited and then possibly let's put out some more. They've had a few bottles or a few lineups that they're dead set on. This is not coming out again. Little Book, not coming out again. They've been very like dead set. We're not doing this. Jim Beam did was it a fall or winter release? It was a toasted barrel of their normal Jim Beam. That was last year, maybe 2 years ago, year and a half, somewhere in there. I don't know if they'll release that again. They did a Jim Beam single barrel. That is said to be done. Like guys are going crazy trying to get those up again. Jim Beam double oaked, I think is done. The Jim Beam double and Jim Beam black.
Wait.
Black is done.
They're done making it?
Jim Beam black. Double oaked might be still there, but black
I thought they were going to keep making black.
One of the two they brought out
black is just their extra age.
They brought out black and double oaked around the same time, and Devil's Cut. Devil's Cut is done. Black
they
and
quit
double
making
oaked.
Devil's Cut?
Yep.
When?
Wait, when did any of this happen?
No, maybe not.
I was gonna say, it's on the shelves today.
Well, but they might be done making it.
Devil's, black, and double. One of those three they stopped.
Well, I need to figure that out.
Yeah, because I want to go out and buy them.
I do like all of those. I like all
maybe
of
it's
those
double
things.
oaked. Yeah.
And I actually like Devil's Cut more than I originally did.
I really like Devil's Cut. So
I did too.
If it's that, I want to buy a case.
There was
And
one
they're
of them
all
that they stopped.
great priced. I mean, if they were getting rid of any of those, I would go out and buy
Well, they stopped with the Jim Beam single barrel. They stopped with that.
Yeah,
done.
I was never a huge. That was a little overpriced.
You didn't like that one.
It was good.
It
But
was $19-20
$19.
outside of Ohio.
The single barrel.
Yep.
In Ohio, it was like $40 or something.
You
And
can
at the
get-
time,
you
you
can
could
get
get
cheaper in
everything else
Kentucky,
for
yeah.
20. You know.
You can get it cheaper in Kentucky, yeah.
Steve, you want this? We're going to smoke Hyde Park.
Oh, good. We're gonna smoke something.
We're going to smoke something. We're smoking Hyde Park today.
And this is not the steakhouse that we talked about.
No, this is Peterson, formerly Dunhill.
Okay, so you say formerly Dunhill. Cornell and Deal is the sorry. Okay, maybe it's Cornell and Deal and Dunhill that I get
Confused.
Did I say that?
Dunhill is a brand that stopped.
Okay.
And actually, that was right around the time McClellan stopped, and it was
Dunhill
kind of a big
did
deal.
A Frog on a Log.
No,
No.
that's McClellan.
Crap.
Dunhill does Nightcap,
Oh, okay.
Elizabethan, Early Morning Pipe, Hyde Park, Dunhill Flake. You see that sitting there? That actually says Dunhill. They have been making blends for a long time. I mean, 70s,
Okay.
70s, 80s. So
Okay.
long time. And they were a tobacco company. They made cigarettes as well, like high-end stuff. They went into accessories. They started making lighters and their pipes.
and
Their pipes are thousands of dollars. But anyway, $5,000.
are?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're crazy expensive. But for whatever reason, they went into like, let's make leather jackets and purses and wallets.
What?
And they just kind of went like high end with that stuff. And I guess they sold because they moved more and more into that and less. And then at some point back in the, God, I don't know when it was, 2018, something like that. They were like, we really don't want to be associated with tobacco anymore, which is funny because they are literally a tobacco company. Like,
Did they sell out?
They didn't want to be associated with tobacco anymore. They were like, this doesn't meet our, standards of who we are. And I'm like, well, who are you? Because that's what you are.
that's who you are.
I'm guessing somebody either inherited it or bought it and then just decided no more. So they're done. They sold out. And there was a freak out. I mean, I pulled a freak out, but at that time I actually bought a bunch, like not with McClellan. I kind of like, because I think Dunhill happened before McClellan, because I freaked out and bought a crap load of Dunhill stuff. And then when McClellan was gonna, air quotes, close its doors, I was like, yeah, right. So I didn't buy it, and I was like, fuck, I'm screwed. Because what happened with Dunhill is they were done, but before even product ran out, STG, Scandinavian Tobacco Company, basically the people that make Lane 1, Captain Black and all that stuff, they were like, we're picking it up. We're picking it up. And matter of fact, we've been making it for years, so nothing's changing but the name. So Peterson kind of acquired the rights to it, and it's being made by STG, which it was always being made by STG. So literally, like when I would try like side-by-side 10s, it's like, this is the same stuff with a different name. It just says Peterson now instead of Dunhill. So nothing changed. McClellan, when they closed, and that was something different. But now everything's Peterson. So Peterson Hyde Park. But Hyde Park's been around for a long time. On the back, if you read it, it says it's a traditional English blend, which is funny because it's not an English tobacco at all. It's just Virginia's, and there's like no Latakia. It's like Virginia's and dark fired
Virginia,
yeah,
sun curled, cured Indian, and burley tobaccos.
Yeah. And if you smell it, I mean, it does not even smell smoky. It's a fantastic blend though. This is a meat and potatoes blend. Okay. This goes great after a steak.
I was doing some research on this double oaked, black, all this kind of stuff. All of those things are still being made. Black, double oak, and devil's cut. All three of those.
Really?
But black did make a change in 2024. They just made it. They added the 7-year age statement back onto it. So they added a
Oh, that's why the black 7-year came out.
Yeah, so the black is the same thing. They just add a age statement. So it's still
expensive.
Black.
I mean, it's still a little bit more than what you.
But not much for a 7-year. I mean, it's literally double the age everything else is. So more than double, really, because they're all like 3 years.
When it was a Jim Beam Winter blend was toasted. What's the double black? Double black is
extra aged.
Okay, so what's double oaked is pretty much toasted, right?
Yeah, there's no double black actually. It's Jim Beam Black, which is extra aged. It even says black extra aged. Then you have Jim Beam Double Oaked, which is the blue label.
And not
literally
toasted.
It's double oaked. You know what I mean? It's 3 years or whatever, but it's double oaked.
Okay, so double oaked wood. So Woodford double oaked is toasted. So it's the second oak is a toasted barrel.
I don't think that they're getting that fancy with it. I literally think
because
that they
got Jim Beam Winter Blend is the toasted. I think they say toasted.
Yeah, I think with the Jim Beam, what they do is they're dunking it in a new charred oak barrel for like maybe like a year and a half or 2 years or whatever. Okay. Then they're dumping in another new charred oak barrel, which is giving double the amount of oak. Right. And you can taste it on there. I mean, it is definitely more oaky.
Yeah, it's more.
And then you've got the bonded. Jim Beam Bonnet, which is the gold label. And you've got a green rye, which I don't think I've ever had. And and there's something else.
Devil's
Cut.
They did
white label, single barrel, I guess.
They did the winter label now,
but even the single barrel is in a different bottle. Like as far as that lineup goes, with the same bottles, you got white, green, blue, red technically, which is the Stag, but that's not like a foolproof.
Oh, the Stag used to be.
Those are all in the same bottle. The single barrel's in kind of a different bottle.
They changed that. It's the same
Standard now, because it was like with a small top and it was kind of a fat body.
But
it's more of a squared off bottle.
Yeah.
So I remember that came out and I was like, that's kind of cool, but it's a little expensive for what it is.
Dude, Jim Beam straight from the barrel.
Yeah, that's good
Fantastic.
stuff. Yeah. But that gold bonded, the Jim Beam gold bonded for the price is so good. And I actually really like the double oaked. The extra age is good, but between the two, double oak's better. I've gone through a lot of that, actually. I usually take that on golf trips.
So they haven't gotten rid of any of them.
Nope.
What about the single
You're a
barrel? Did
liar.
they get rid of that? Liar.
Is the rumor real or is the rumor made up? So
Most rumors are made up.
not made up by
Might be
them, made up
based
by
in
others
truth,
of like,
but-
we can't find it, it's done.
I like that they're putting an age statement on the black.
But then you also have rumors with this bottle that we're having, the old Overholt 114.
What's the rumor with that?
That was done. It was only Pennsylvania, Ohio.
That wasn't a rumor. That was the truth. And then all of a sudden they said it did well. So here you guys go.
Yeah, so it's expanding.
Was the rumor that it was only this, and then all of a sudden oh, it wasn't only this, now it's more.
I mean, if that's true, in that case, the internet's a rumor too.
Yeah, but
Have you ever seen Facebook?
But Nick, we read that.
Right.
In the store, they had a little flyer thing. Do you remember this? And it said like, this is a trial thing. And we're going to see how it goes.
So why trial in Ohio? Why trial in Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania, I understand.
I think
Why
because Ohio is literally the hardest, most stingy, most well, I won't say that.
They're close, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They're the stupidest as far as like what they're allowing and what they're not allowing. They're so tight that it's like if it can get through in Ohio, if it does well in Ohio, it can do well anywhere.
Yep. Yeah.
I really think that's why they're like, well, if it did well in Ohio,
Also, the other part of it too is that Ohio is a good place to figure out if your MSRP is right, because you own. That's the only. If it's sold in the store, it's
and if
always
people
that
don't
same
buy
price.
it, they're not going to buy it. Yeah.
So whereas if you go to Indiana or anywhere else, that price isn't always the same. You can go to different stores. You have store competition that's based on price, not based on quality. So if you want to decide how to price your thing, Ohio is a good place for that, because if every store is the same price.
Maybe I need to move.
Why?
I don't like Ohio.
Well, I don't either.
Yeah.
But in terms of a good place, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I actually really like
You
Ohio.
can drive away from Ohio to buy stuff and come back. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. You're 2 hours away from it, 4 other states.
We're literally 2 hours away from Kentucky.
2 hours in Kentucky, 2 hours in Pennsylvania,
I
2 hours
really
in
don't
Indiana.
like how much control the state of Ohio seems to not necessarily boast. They like to boast, we are better than you, therefore we can do this.
Well, I just think it's
I don't love that.
when you give too much regulation to anybody. I just feel like there's power and there's power hungry people and then there's an abuse of power. And I think that Ohio's too regulated. And I think that's part of it is just greed. Some of it is coming from there was a time where it wasn't regulated at all. I mean, I think there's a balance to be had. I don't think it should be unregulated, but I think that it's overregulated.
I would love to see a non-regulated state bring in
I think you would see chaos.
this, right? So bring in old Overholt 114 and say, for the first year, we will sell it at MSRP. See how
Then it wouldn't be unregulated, because if there's an MSRP, then it's not
You're
regulated.
putting stipulations on things. Yeah,
But that's the thing. I would love to see.
it's not the wild, wild west. If you got law and order,
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. Yeah.
there's a balance to be had. I think that there's a balance to be had. You can't have anarchy, but you also can't have 1940 whatever to Germany, right,
1920,
or whatever
yeah.
it was. You got to have a balance between the two, and I think that everything needs balance.
Yeah, you're right.
But speaking of balance, just to interject, because I haven't had any of this liquor yet.
You haven't had any of it?
No, I haven't sipped any of that. But
okay.
I just forget how much I like this tobacco. Because Hyde Park was one of those things that was on my radar for a long time. I tried a lot of other Dunhill blends. I never got Hyde Park up until like the last, I think 2 years ago is when I first dabbled into Hyde Park. And because I always thought it was an English tobacco. And because it says that and everything else. When I finally got it, And I smoked it and I was like, this is not your every other English. You know what I mean? Because I was like, why would I go after it? I have nightcap. Like if I want a Dunhill English, I either want early morning pipe or a nightcap, and that's it for me. Why would I go after Hyde Park? And then I smoked it and I was like, this is something. And what's interesting is that now I'm, smoking this and it says it's an old English blend. What I think they mean by that is like, because smoking this almost reminds me of like something somebody would smoke in England back in the day. Not an English per se type of like with Latakia and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of an old world tobacco flavor. Fancy old world tobacco.
Yeah, sophisticated.
Like walking around the streets of London smoking this on a kind of a drab, kind of a dreary kind of a day.
Musty, kind of like rainy kind of day.
Yeah. And it just is a really nice, different flavor, kind of change of pace blend. I like it. Forget how much I like it.
It brings about that Sherlock Holmes. Like so the movie, right? So you see them in like at the end talking to a guy you can't really see in the carriage. They're like rainy kind of feel. That's what this brings about.
Well, and we're talking about fall, and this is kind of like a wet fall day.
It really is like a rainy, not necessarily like stormy. It's after the storm.
Yeah, it's just wet roads and wet leaves, and this is the Hounds of the Baskervilles, and it's doing it. It's holding up its end of the
How does this go? I'm curious how this goes with the whiskey.
I'm gonna try it.
Because we're talking a higher proof old Overholt. So we talked about bonded last time was a step up flavor. It was the paved road, right? Chip and seal to the gravel. What is this past that? That was a bit more in flavor. What does 114 do to that?
So it continues to get deeper. Like it's still like this has even, I don't want to say more flavor, but the flavor is a little bit more intense.
It's longer lasting.
Yeah, longer lasting.
Okay.
You're starting to get a finish now, whereas the bonded didn't have much of a finish. It was there, but it was muted.
It's lingering on your palate and actually in your chest.
Yeah. This goes down the chest. Yeah.
This
Now
is
we got a
rye.
Higher proof rye. At that, yeah.
I'm a manly man rye.
This will pop hairs on your chest,
Okay.
without being overpowering, because it's still kind of subtle.
How does this go with the Hyde Park?
I mean, I hate to toot my own horn, but I think it's weird because the first time it was kind of like the one was taking place at the other, and the other one was like the other one was allowing the bonded to kind of do its thing. This one has got its own flavors going on, but it's just, in my opinion, it's almost like, and they're both very full flavored, but they're working together, which is weird because you think that there's not enough room for both of them in the room. But I think that they're good. I'm getting a lot of flavor on the pipe, and I'm getting a lot of flavor in the glass, but I don't feel like they're competing.
Yeah.
Is it overload? Yes. Is it good? Yeah. Right. Like it's not overload in a bad way. It's overload in a good way.
This is a stout night. Like
this is a stout night.
There's a lot going on.
Like I said, if you were to eat like a good steak and potatoes, and you had this and this afterward,
this
it's gonna be a good follow-up.
This is a little bit of a backroom deal, kind of combo. Like I'm gonna be having my steak, drinking this, smoking this, and making business deals.
Yeah, making business deals, maybe playing a high stakes poker game.
Yeah, there you go, high stakes poker,
sophisticated high stakes poker game at a gentleman's club, like old London gentleman, not like a strip club.
Yeah, I perceive the old Overholt as kind of the vinegar tobacco. Or not a tobacco, sorry. The vinegar barbecue. Does that fit with your tobacco then? Kind of vinegary, like open pit vinegary. Like or like mustard vinegary. Like not like white vinegar, right? So like there's some substance to that. But does that play into that like bitey vinegary kind of feel?
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm not quite getting what you're saying, but it's more like the espresso versus the coffee. It's a stronger flavor. That's why I keep saying like this would be good after a steak, because I think that this is not for the faint. This pairing is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, you almost might need to get a good meal under your belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not for the beginner.
This could not knock you for a loop. And it's actually making this. I think you know what I think it is. I think the tobacco maybe making the 114 stronger.
Yeah.
And I think the 114 might be making the tobacco stronger.
Stronger in what sense?
Bolder.
Okay.
Bolder.
Flavor.
More full flavored.
Yeah.
Because like if you've ever Steve, you can agree with this. If you've ever tried a tobacco that really kind of knocks you for a loop, and some people will say like watch out, like you can get the swims, but like it's just like I think of like Old Dark Fired or something like that, where you're like I'm smoking on the deepest, darkest, most bold. Like if James Earl Jones was a pipe tobacco, I'm smoking this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Hyde Park is that, but maybe not to that degree. But
paired with
this 114 is kind of making it to that degree. So they're almost building each other up.
Yeah.
They're what's that word? Not they're bracing each other.
Okay.
They're bracing each other up. So they're kind of like building each other up. Yeah, I think it's a weird pairing because they're both kind of full flavored, but they're kind of working together.
It's working really well. Yeah.
So it fills in the gaps.
There is no gaps.
There is no gaps.
No gaps.
Yeah, this is two. Have you ever seen? Forget the characters a little bit, but just use the image of Emperor's New Groove. When they're going back to back and bracing themselves against the wall and climbing up the side, they're kind of like that. They're two strong characters, like they're both together,
Right.
and they're both rising. So there are no gaps to fill.
There's no room for anything
They're,
else.
they're just building up on each other.
So the two combined is the Scotch. Full flavored, full bodied.
A little bit, yeah.
But we're not competing. We're not beating. We're
enhancing each other.
You guys are at this point. I wish I could join. If I can compare it, you guys are at the fire pit in October and you're having a Scotch. We are fire on fire.
Without it being overpowering.
Yes, one is not competing, one is not fighting against,
Right,
but we are fire on fire.
Because you can do too much, right? It's not overpowering. It's not full to bursting.
Yes.
It's not underwhelmed. It's like your glass is just like somebody poured it out and stopped right at the moment where it hits the brim. There's not any room for more. It's perfect.
Okay, so
I wouldn't want any more or less.
Yeah.
you guys are not at a fire. You guys are burning leaves and drinking something at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. What I get is content.
Yeah. And I'm even trying to figure out the right word because earlier I said that they were enhancing each other,
Right.
and that's wrong because
They're not
it's
enhancement.
implying
Yeah.
that one needs enhancement and one doesn't need.
You guys are
enhancement.
playing together.
They're Ebb and Costello.
Yeah.
they're both good on their own right.
If
but you
OJ's
put them
hand
together,
fit
they're
the
amazing.
glove, he puts it on, it just slides right in. Well, shoot.
This
You know
is
what I mean?
this is the Lagavulin to burning leaves. What I would consider Lagavulin to burning leaves, right? So we're in that fall, we'll rake the leaves, but we don't care about the environment. We're gonna burn them. We have that smell, along with we're drinking smoky Scotch. We're drinking Lagavulin. We're not drinking barbecue. We're drinking smoke. Like nice, easy going along with the burning leaves. That's what you guys are getting.
I'm gonna
They're
agree
not
with
fighting.
Yeah.
They are just mellowing together as they grow.
Yep. The only challenge I'm going to have to that is that I do care about the environment, which is why I'm burning the leaves.
Right.
Because if you rake them up, that's bad for the environment. Don't rake your leaves.
Oh, what?
Don't rake your leaves.
Oh,
Do you mulch them?
You mulch
I
them
mulch
or just
mine.
leave them. Just leave them be.
I mulch
what about
mine.
the grass? What?
Grass is bad for the environment.
What?
So grass is no good. Why do you have a monoculture grass?
I'm curious.
Your yard is to impress your neighbor, not
Steve,
to
I'm
save
really
nature.
I am
so
very
agree with
curious
you
about this.
because I've never been a leaf raker. I'm a leaf mulcher.
I hate mowing. I hate raking.
Don't do either one.
What?
Forget it.
Why?
You're benefiting your neighbor, not the world.
We got to mow your grass, though.
No, you don't. You leave it.
Well,
Let it grow.
Steve,
No.
Steve, I got something that's going to change your mind. I got something that's going to change your mind. Have you ever seen a kid play in tall grass? Have you?
I have.
Yeah, but you were the kid. I mean, that's different. Wait until you see a kid who just is barely walking try to play in some tall grass.
What does
it
that
ain't
do?
gonna happen.
Why?
It's hard. They're hard. They
What
fall
about
down.
it?
They fall down. They twist their ankle. They're not having fun. They can't kick the ball.
Yeah.
What's on them? They gotta grow.
There's going to be a time where you're like, I need to cut this to where it's carpet out here so they can have fun.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, F what I said. I'm going to cut this down.
Well, but that's not for the environment then. It's for
No,
me.
it's selfish. I think cutting grass is selfish. But I also think it's selfish, like for like other people too, because like I would rather not cut the grass. I mean, I could take that time to like do whatever I want. But so it's like double selfish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say that for kids, they need some short grass to play in.
You shouldn't have a lawn in general because a single blade of grass, like grass, is just not. It's a weed. Like it doesn't. It's whatever.
Wait, I know there's weeds, but
No, grass is a weed. We've just made it into a pretty weed, but it's just a weed. But you should have clover. You should have dandelion. You should have like those things are good for the world. Like that's what you should have. Like if we're talking about environmental, that's what you should have.
I'm fine with clover.
Did you guys ever have that?
We had clover.
All of our grass was clover. There was a few places I lived where if you looked at it, it was just clover.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Right.
Where's that at?
It's all gone away for Kentucky bluegrass for no reason. Yeah. So
that grass is nice on your feet. The clover,
and it uses a ton of water, and it's a bad monoculture. It's like there's no room for bugs and worms and all that kind of stuff.
I don't want bugs,
and that's why the leaves are so good too. It's a home for the bugs and the worms and everything, and the spiders and all that. Those are good things. I know we've made them bad, but again, I'm talking from an environmental standpoint, not a benefit to you and your home standpoint.
Those are different.
Not
those are different things.
Wait. So burning leaves is good for the environment?
Better than raking them and putting them in a bag.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Because then, that's just carbon. You're just adding that to your topsoil. That's a good
raker. And we have trucks that come over and suck up the leaves. So all you have to do is rake them to the end of your street. I don't even do that. I just mulch them. Laura finds that the most like hillbilly thing. No. And I'm like, no, like this is what we did growing up.
Yeah.
Like,
it feeds the grass.
Is no reason to rake your leaves. I am anti-rake your leaves. It's bad for everything. Don't do it. You've heard it here first, guys.
Heard it here, folks.
So where's my lawn mowing? That's my lawn care take.
We didn't have like sprinkler systems.
Yeah, no.
We didn't treat our grass and we didn't rake leaves.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that irony moment here. I'm pretty sure there's a photo on our podcast page of me burning leaves and sitting a bottle of scotch with a glass beside it, and I finished up that. Scotch.
Burning leaves can be aromatic.
Oh, it's amazing.
But again,
I've been told it's really
a selfish
bad.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to burn leaves.
Yeah.
That'd be a selfish thing.
But it's not bad for the environment. For what you said, yeah, it's good.
No, you can burn leaves.
I mean, honestly,
the ozone layer?
I don't care a whole lot about the environment. I do things based on like if I want to do them or not.
Yeah.
So
well, this is a win-win. You don't have to spend the time raking leaves anymore.
But okay, what about the ozone layer? Right, we have to burn fire. We release things into the ozone layer, kind of crap.
So you're not releasing. It's the leaves are already dead. So you're not like killing an oxygen maker.
So what about firewood?
I listen. I believe the Bible is inerrant.
Is a what?
Is inerrant. I believe the Bible is going to have no errors in it.
Oh, okay.
And in the Bible, it says Jesus does come back. Okay. The world's got to last that long at least. So the ozone layer is not my concern.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So we're already set. Like it's gonna last as long as it needs to last. The ozone layer can
I agree,
go,
but if we're talking Steve terms of dead, what about firewood? Is that the same thing? It's a fire. The wood is dead, right?
So now we're getting into some philosophy now because you have to keep yourself warm. So what's the best way to keep yourself warm? Is it burning wood, or is it burning coal, or is it burning electricity, or is it you have to keep yourself warm to stay alive? So which one is better?
Sorry. So the reason I ask this is because someone has said wood or leaves is killing the ozone layer. Is it?
I don't really know, to be honest, but I can tell you that if you're trying to keep yourself warm, burning wood would be a better option environmentally than burning coal or using a bunch of electricity, which basically is coal. So environmentally, it's may not be perfect because we are humans and humans are affecting the ozone, but
We're affecting everything.
if that's your argument, that means you're pro eliminating humans,
Right.
and that's not environmental.
That's not. There's a survival instinct there that every creature has, and that's not even that.
You have to that is a very low level thing that's for the ozone is burning firewood.
It's for the vegetarians out there. Oh, we were never meant to eat meat, right? Well, I say to those people, if we did not eat the meat, they would be overpopulated. That's a serious problem. Why would God create a world where there's these animals that become overpopulated if we were not meant to eat those things? Clearly, we were meant to eat those things. Like it wouldn't be a thing. Right. And most vegetarians might say, well, God didn't create those animals.
To the environmental version, if you don't want to be religious, then it's the canines on your teeth are proof of like, yeah, we're obviously in our gut biomes being made to be able to take down meat. So like, yeah, we obviously can do that and should do that, but well, should is up to you, I guess. If you don't want to eat it, don't. But just don't yell at me.
You don't want to rake your leaves. You don't have to do that either.
Yeah, really more the vegans are the problem. I'm cool with vegetarians.
Get rid of it. Vegans and leaf rakers.
Right.
How
Those
dare
are the real
you?
problem in our world.
Yeah. We're gonna make a T-shirt. Vegans
and leaf rakers,
and air quotes offensive.
Offensive, yeah. And in a bad way.
Yeah, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
It might be the first time. I don't know how we got to this.
I'm not sure either. Good luck editing.
We could scale back and figure it out, but I don't care.
I don't know. We're gonna jump back. Yeah.
But anyway, for this particular one,
so what do you have on this guy? Any history? Any reason why we did this? I mean, other than it's Pennsylvania, yeah, 114.
Well, when did it come out?
2013. No, 20.
No, we're much later than that.
2022.
I think it was 23.
Oh, I was close. Okay. So 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's when we got this. 2023.
I think it's 2022. I could be wrong.
Could be 22. Yeah.
But either way, I thought this was like 5 years ago.
Not 2020. 2020. Not during COVID.
Well, maybe before COVID. I didn't think it was long after we moved into this house.
No,
just 2017.
It was.
So I can tell you it's for sure after 2017.
Oh, thankfully.
So I can say at least that.
Okay, all right.
Sometime between 2017 and the year 2023.
So it's, it would have been after I left the bar. So 2020.
Working at the Bogey.
I don't think we found this at working at the Bogey. I think it was after. I could be wrong.
Well, it's neither here nor there, I guess. But basically, this came out.
Yeah.
This came out somewhere around 2017.
So why Pennsylvania? Why Ohio? Do you know? Do they give a reason why just those?
I mean, the Pennsylvania makes sense, but it was a test subject.
Okay, so
that's all it was.
It makes sense if the mash bill matched the idea of Pennsylvania rye.
No, this is a rye, and it's out of Pennsylvania. But it's a Pennsylvania company.
But there's Pennsylvania rye, the Pennsylvania style rye.
Yeah, there is. But this is marketing. This is just rye.
Okay, so it's not like, hey, we're Pennsylvania style. It's
this is a rye, and they were in the process of making their Pennsylvania location.
It says right there, like in big letters, made in Kentucky.
Yes, it is made in Kentucky,
but for Pennsylvania,
right,
and or Ohio, and or if it
that's
does well,
what drives me insane. Is like there's Pennsylvania style rye, which is very specific to Pennsylvania, and then there's
this is just rye.
But there's Maine lobster that's not made in Maine. You know what I mean?
No, but they match that style.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like,
so I get what you're saying. It's not made in Maine, but it matches the style. This does not match the style of Pennsylvania rye, but it's for Pennsylvania. That's
Ohio's
that's
for
what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
You ever heard that term?
What's that?
Ohio's for lovers.
Ohio's for lovers. Yeah, it was our state motto there for a little while.
Song about that.
Mm-hmm. So. Going back to our history a little bit, and then we're going to hop back to this.
Oh, okay.
So we ended with Prohibition.
I was going to say, like, there's a big gap between, if they didn't do anything, there's a big gap between Bonded and this. 2017.
We are far into this thing for history. But yes.
But there's a pretty big gap, though, in terms of, like, interesting history. involved in
So
these
jump
things.
for Prohibition.
We brought 1920s, so that's Prohibition hits in 1920s, ends in 1930.
Okay.
And nothing new has come out since Bottled and Bond before Prohibition.
But
Exactly.
I'm sure there's
yeah.
been company changes.
I'm sure there were.
Yeah.
They sold
Changes
out,
to the
they went
lineup,
to,
there
they
was
went to
an-
national brand. They did all that stuff. But like from the 30s up into the 70s, nothing exciting happened in whiskey.
But that is kind of a testament that they stayed.
Yeah, everything just stayed the same for like
they
50
kept
years.
getting bought. Like they stayed
They're
in
almost
business.
the Canadian Club.
But like for any brand, like nothing happened in the whiskey world from 1930 to
But
1970.
not even
But
whiskey.
why?
Because why? Because nobody cared.
But why do we care now? Why do we,
We don't
want
care
change?
now. That's why we're skipping 50 years.
But, I'm saying, like, why did we have a change? Why did we want something more?
Because then people started caring.
Forget whiskey.
Yeah.
For any brand to do that well for that amount of time is quite amazing. I mean, Blockbuster couldn't even cut it like 20 years. You know what I mean?
Why do brands care that much to say we have to market, we have to change, we have to adapt?
Well, because they want to stay alive.
But no, I get that. But why do we care about them changing along the way?
Standing the test of time. What I'm saying is whether or not changing, the fact that they were able to keep their head afloat in 50 years. Like there's toothpaste brands that didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Colgate's one of the big brands because they stood the test of time.
So sorry, my question is: so we don't care, right?
About what?
The change.
We do care about changes.
We
That's
do
why
care
we're going to
about
talk about all the
fact
changes.
that, the fact that they changed and they were able to they didn't go under.
So if we jump back to, I'm going to jump back to the leaves. We burn leaves because we like the smell of the aromatics. Leaves don't change. They die. We burn them. They grow.
but they come back every year.
Because they're leaves.
But they're the same. Right. So
they're going to come back. You can count on leaves.
So they're the same smell each year. Why do we care about products changing, but not the smell of the leaves?
So
why?
No, here's where your problem is.
Okay.
We did this. We burned the leaves for 50 years.
Right.
And because we like it. That's the same
we
thing.
like it.
Nothing changed for 50 years.
Yeah, the fact that we never got
But we still
tired of
burn
burning
them.
the leaves.
Why do we care about the products
Because we
changing?
still we are wait. Just a second. Are you concerned about the 50 years of no change, or are you concerned about the next year that it did change?
Yes.
Okay.
The change. Why do we change? Why do we care about the change if we still burn the same leaves now? We all like the smell. We all like the same thing.
But that's the thing. The difference is we're not the same person from 50 years ago.
Especially with the new millennium.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're no longer the same person. Like you're another generation. You're another group of people. There's cars now. There wasn't cars then.
This
Like,
was the 20th century.
It's a different world.
We're
Like,
the
that's the reason.
We're the
But if
21st century.
we've always burned the same leaves, we're the different generation, but each generation has burned the same leaves.
But would you not
We've grown-
appreciate it if the leaves came out a different color than they've ever been?
I mean, do they
I might
change
be
each
getting
year?
too much into your metaphor here, but I burn leaves every year.
Yeah.
Because during this season, I like the smell of leaves.
But they're the
And I
same
don't
smell.
get them 3 months from now.
But they're the same smell each year.
Right. And I don't have it for 11 months out
But
of
if
the year.
the
But
generation
for this
before
month,
us
I do.
always got the same smell.
Yeah.
They always got the same. The leaves never changed.
Right.
Why do we care if the products change? If the leaves that have always stayed the same are the same, the products now jump 3-4 generations above that. We care what they smell like, what they taste like, what they market as. But leaves, we're not going to rake them
What's
no matter
the
what.
leaf?
Yeah, but we can't change leaves.
It's leaves. It falls from a tree.
No, but in your metaphor
No,
here,
there is no metaphor. It is the leaf.
Well, we're not a forestry podcast. I don't know.
Listen,
it's leaves.
we can't change leaves.
Right.
But here's the
Why?
difference.
Why do- if
you
we
were to
can't
compare,
change it,
hold on,
why?
let me talk. If you compare leaves to old Overholt, the cool thing about old Overholt is you have the old leaves and you have new leaves, and you can choose whether you have the old or the new. The problem with leaves is we don't have a new leaf. We only have the old
But
leaves.
why are we content with that?
because we don't have new ones. There's no other option. There's either leaves or no leaves. There's
We're
no
also
other option.
not content with it because we have a liquor store of 1,000 other brands of 1,000 other kinds of leaves.
Right. There's too many leaves coming out to keep up with it.
Yeah.
The leaves are not a metaphor.
The leaves are a constant. Like you can't
they're
change
always
leaves.
the same.
Yeah, exactly. And so is Old Overholt bonded.
So it's always the same. Why do we care if it
We
changes or
appreciate
not?
that because it's a new iteration. If all of a sudden there was blue leaves, I'd be like, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Why?
I still like the old leaves, but those blue leaves are pretty damn cool.
So are
Like,
the blue different from the normal?
I mean, they look different.
And if you care, why? Why does that impact you? So if the blue are different from the normal, why do you care? And does that impact you for flavor, for smell, for raking, for burning?
Listen, you're talking to a guy who has 300 and some odd pocket knife. And if you ask anybody, that's probably like 290. It's definitely like almost 300 more knives than I need.
Small amount, yeah.
Okay. Like I probably need like 20 at the most.
Do
and
they
I have
cut differently?
No, and that's the thing. I mean, to a degree, and Laura's asked me that. I'm like different blade steels and different grind angles and different shapes.
They look cool.
At the end of the day, they cut this. They all cut. They're all cutting tools.
Right.
They open differently. They lock differently. They look different. They handle different. They feel different. There's a lot of variations. But if based on your metaphor, I should just be happy with one knife. But I am not.
All right.
Because I can get more
obviously
knives.
We're not getting this. So real quick, Nick, why do we burn the same leaves every year?
So you talked about, is there a metaphor? There's a reason behind this.
Yeah.
We're on
I'd
our
love to know it.
third bottle of Old Overholt.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this?
Well, it's a different bottle.
There we go.
It's a
So,
completely
but-
different
but-
bottle.
But why? Why is it complete? It's the same leaf.
No.
It's not the same leaf.
It dropped from the same tree.
Well, sure.
But why is it different?
I've got two kids, or you've got two kids. They drop from the same tree too.
I was just about to go with that. Like every kid is different, and then every generation of family is different.
So hold on. We've talked about the third. We're going on this whole series of Old Overholt, right? We dropped from Old Overholt 80 to bonded. There's a complete difference between the two. 114 to bonded, not proof wise, not that much flavor. Okay, but why should people care so much about the fact that Old Overholt said we could have a third?
I'll tell you why I think, and that's what I was trying to hit on before we started talking about leaves. I'm going to say it. What's amazing is for 50 years or whatever, they were fine with not changing, and they were successful. And then at some point, whether they needed to or not, they decided time to make a change. Let's try something else without getting rid of what's been working for 50 years. Let's add to, not take away from ourselves, and see if people like it. And matter of fact, it's such a big change for us. We're going to make it, air quotes, experimental. Let's do Pennsylvania. We'll do Ohio. And guess what? If it doesn't work, we're getting out, because what has been working for 50 years is this. And we don't want to get away from that. But we're okay with trying something new. We're okay with challenging ourselves. We're okay with being 70 years old and saying, maybe I can do something else. Maybe I do have 20 more years of my life. You know what I mean? You have to respect that, A, something's worked for somebody for that amount of time, and B, they're willing, even at that age, to change. That's quite commendable. You know what I mean? You look at a guy that's like looking at the end of his life, and he has what some people would consider a not even a mid, but like an end life crisis, and does something new. I look at that like, you might fail, but you are willing to try it. That's commendable. That's exciting. And that's what I think is what you're trying to get at. Why should people care? Because that's pretty effing cool.
Well, so I get the care. You and I have had a lot of experience for whiskey. Steve has had a lot of experience within the podcast club. You and I have had more. That's a different subject. You and I have we have a deeper appreciation, right? I feel like you and I fail to understand, and hopefully I'm hoping that you can bring us along this journey, right, Steve? Why I'm new in the journey for whiskey. I'm new into rye. Why should I jump in price or even deviate from 80 proof, let alone 100 proof, to 114 for the exact same thing? It's rye.
I have an unsatisfying answer for you.
Okay.
You shouldn't.
Yeah,
if you're
I was just
new
about to
into
agree.
rye,
Why would you?
are you buying 114
This is not for those people.
proof rye? You don't do that.
This is not for those
So that's
people.
the thing. This isn't made for newbies.
This is made for
And this is a
the old.
newbie bottle. So like
This
you
is made for the
don't-
old
like,
Overholt
there is
connoisseur.
there is a very big like whiskey is a journey.
Right.
And so there is no ending and there is barely a beginning. Like the beginning is the 80 proof. It's pretty quick to 100 proof. Anything over 100, you should wait a year or so.
Or whenever you're ready.
Or however much time it's going to, how much depends on how much you drink and how much you're going to talk about it. Because if you are on a whiskey journey by yourself, then it's going to take you a lot longer and really probably don't spend the money on it because you're not going to have the conversations and stuff that are going to like really make the value out of those really expensive bottles. Because most of the value in whiskey comes from the camaraderie, not the liquid inside of it. Yeah. So like, unless you're like a history buff or something, you want to grab something cool because of that and you get to read the story on it or whatever, but that's still community. That's community around that. So like, if you are listening to this podcast, you're probably not brand new into whiskey. You're probably like have been around it for a little bit, long enough to care about our opinions on it. So like, you're not brand new. So like something like this bottle isn't made for a beginner. It's made for somebody that's been doing this for a little bit or is around people that has been doing it for a little bit.
To add on that, I would say there's an appreciation level to bourbon, obviously, or whiskey or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like there's two people that would get into Old Overholt, 114 specifically. It would be people who are already in, like they've been built up into rise and they see it. Oh, I've heard of Old Overholt and they want to try it and they like it. Those people would probably never go backwards because if they appreciate Old Overholt 14 and that's the first thing they've tried from Old Overholt, why would you go backwards? You wouldn't. The other people are the ones that have been into Old Overholt and have gotten to the point where they like you said, Steve, where they've progressed into 114 and they appreciate it and they're finally to that point. This is great. But those people, like me, would still appreciate the bottle and bond and the 80 proof. And they probably would keep it in their collection because why? They appreciate what it is. That doesn't mean they're going to drink it all the time, but they appreciate what it is. I would never get rid of these bottles. And if I do get rid of them, at this point, I mean, if you were to say which out of the three is the best, it's 114. So from a purely a purchaser standpoint, why would I even own the other two? I wouldn't. However, I appreciate it, like my knives, like my thing with my knives. I appreciate it for what it is. Am I taking a step back? Yeah. Have I done that with my knives? Have I bought knives that were older that are actually not as good as the newer stuff? The steel's not as good. The lock mechanism's not as good, whatever it is. Not as good, but I appreciate them for what it was at the time it came out. I appreciate it for what it is now. I appreciate its history. Appreciate that maybe it's not going to be around forever. Am I going to go back and buy the 80 proof and the bottle and bond and have them, even though I can get 114, which is better? Yeah, because I appreciate it for what it is. So you have those two people. Now there's people that would try the 114. And I'm into Rise. I like that. This is great. They're never going to go to, if they tried 80, they'd be like, this sucks, right? They're not going to appreciate it, whatever. So there's multiple levels of this, right? So, I mean, I think that's part of it. I mean, but I don't think Old Overholt by putting this out was saying, we suck. We need to reinvent ourselves. I think it was their way of like having like a midlife, maybe not a midlife crisis. They wanted to expand.
So
they wanted to grow. Yeah.
They wanted to grow.
Are we at the tip top of the mountain?
Of Old Overholt? Apparently not, because there's a 10-year coming.
So not to say that everything is downhill, but is it? Are we achieving the best in our mind right now for what we've had? We are
improving
for what we've had.
Of these three,
are we at
this
the
is
tip
the
top?
best of the three.
This is the best of the three.
Yeah, there is no top. This is the best of the three,
and there is no top because something else could come out down the road.
So when you're hiking,
the sky's the limit, Nick.
Yeah. When you're hiking, do you guys ever get to the tip top? What is that?
But the tip top in elevation, but that's not the best of the experience.
There we go. So do you get the best of the experience before you get to the top?
Sometimes before, sometimes after, sometimes at the top.
Okay. So
it just depends.
So there's a possibility we're at the tip top. Yeah. For what we know, for what we've had, this is the best.
Yeah, this is the best of the three.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Have you ever been on a hike or a climb or whatever where you've reached a certain point, probably the best part of that experience, and you've said, this is so good, I'm done. I'm never hiking again. No, most of the time you're like, I can't wait for my next one.
Yeah.
Now I want to go to this one. You just experienced the best part of probably the best hike you've ever had, and you're already thinking about your next one.
Okay.
Does that diminish that?
So this is
No, it doesn't diminish it. It just it makes you want more.
this is the best of what you've experienced, but you want more of the next.
Yes.
You always will because we're human beings and we're greedy, selfish people.
Oh, fair. But for those that are saying, I'm new to the whiskey, I want 80 proof. This idea that this is the best you'll ever get, how can I work up to that? Is that fair to say this is the best you'll get that we know of what we've tried?
When we're talking about whiskey, everything is subjective. So there is no, when I say this is the best we've ever had, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's a different experience for
And a
you.
lot of times it's the best you've ever had so far.
And also, if we're going back to hiking, if I'm a new hiker, I'm not going to climb a 10,000 foot mountain, which is what this 114 is.
Yeah, you're not going. Good call, Steve.
I'm
You're
gonna
not going
break
straight
my
to Everest.
daggone legs.
I heard about climbing.
And I'm never going to hike again.
You imagine you're halfway up Everest first time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You got frostbite like first time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So this is the wrong mountain for you. This is the wrong climb.
But okay, so we're not looking to freak people out by this, right? This is not the frostbite for Everest. This is we could work up to this.
That's why they kept the other in their lineup. They didn't like get rid of the other ones. You know what I mean?
Now,
They knew that this was not going to be their everyday, basic offering.
Now, to reverse this metaphor a little bit and talk about what Chris said when he said, like, if you're already a whiskey person and you have the 114, you never have the 80 or the 100, and you're not going to go backwards. I did a hike in the Tetons, or
Titties?
The TTs, but I did it in reverse.
Okay.
I started at we were like, you know what, we're gonna go for this hike and we're gonna end at this restaurant for like a lunch or whateter.
Was that
and
the
then
Twin
hike
Peaks?
back.
Did you moon?
Yeah, it was the
moonwalk
Twin
it?
Peaks.
Can you see him like walking backwards, like moonwalking?
So, but we
So the
started.
Tetons,
We
Twin
started
Peaks?
at
No?
the Overlook. We started at the Overlook.
The Overlook Hotel?
No, like at the Overlook
Oh.
of the mountain.
I thought you were talking
So
about
we started at the top.
The Shining.
No, the
So-
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
So we started at the top. So we get these beautiful views where we drive up there. We get these amazing views. It's this beautiful mountain. And then we hike down the mountain
Why would you drive up
to eat at this restaurant. And then we have to walk back.
Oh, it's
So that
devastating.
means that your best was at the very beginning. And now that meal and like the second time we had to hike up the hill, which freaking sucked because I already know what's up there. I've already been there.
I already saw
So I'm
that.
doing all
Yeah.
this hard work. Because like if you're doing a good hike, you kind of hate it until you get to the top, until you get to whatever this view is or this thing is that you're trying to get to. So for us making the thing we're trying to get to, this restaurant that's kind of down the mountain, was a horrible idea. Because now the whole hike back is all uphill. It's this massive hike, and I just ate, and there's no payoff at the end. I've already seen the top, and that's what it would be like going backwards to the 100 or the 80.
For a lot of people.
For if you're already a whiskey guy that starts with the 114,
Unless you really, really love it and you want to squeeze everything you can out of an experience. And I think that's how we are kind of with certain things. If you really, really love a thing, you're going to you're going to take every avenue you can to experience all of it. Right. I think about video games. You ever had a video game where you've just played it and played it and played it? You've played it front and back and inside and out, and you've gone through every option and okay. Another example. I'm a big reader. I love choose your own adventure novels. Oh, when I did, I was a kid.
They're the worst. Those are the worst.
So I loved
hate
them so much that I would read them with a notebook. And
And
every
track 'em.
choice,
No, but I know people that have.
every
Yeah.
choice I made, I would write it down. And I would spend forever till when I did not get done with a book until I had gone through every avenue, every choice. Do you know how many choices you can get through if you change them up? I mean, it's like you can read it like 52 different ways.
I feel like this is why you love video games and I cannot do that.
But it takes a lot to not be. And the thing is, most people would get bored or tired of that story way before they got through every choice. Not me.
Yeah.
Because I ate it up. I wanted to go through every bit of it that I could. And I feel like that kind of person, like me, I would appreciate if I had to go backwards or whatever. But a lot of people aren't like that. So I think if you don't start with your progression and you don't appreciate, you'd either start with this and then you would never go back, or or you'd start up with that and then you'd never go back. But very few people are going to appreciate their lower offerings. But some people would never ever go to 114. Like you said, Steve, they might go like 80 and the bottle and bond and be like, well, this is good. This is a good stopping point. And I'm going to have this now and then and do other things. But there's people out there that would not like, even with years of drinking, would not appreciate 114. It's a rye. It's a bit spicy for people. So I don't think Blake would like 114. I mean, he might appreciate it, but I think between the two, he would say the bottle and bond is better, So why would, but for us, the 114 is better. So it's subjective. I mean, it's so subjective.
I feel like, so this is why I feel like I say this is the top of the mountain, because we could teeter-totter for both ways. Neither is bad. Both are good.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yes. There's a way that we have the Blake that's when we first met Blake, it was the weeded Sazerac bourbon. Now he likes rice. He's
branched right out.
He's branched into rice. So this would be the top of the mountain. We have the other guys coming back, right? So on the other side of the mountain of like, I've got 10 year to 114. I can appreciate everything below that. I feel like this is the top of the mountain of I could go either way. Depending on where I came from, depending on where I started, this might be a good middle of the road. I'll get there. Not going to say it's the best experience going this way or that way, right? Up the mountain or down the mountain. But this is my middle of the road. This is the tip top where I parked, right? This is where I could be. This is where I could end up.
What's the cost on this bottle?
It's not expensive.
It's not expensive at all.
I want to say it's 50 or under.
But
Yeah. So this guy, I like to say OHLQ because they like their MSRP.
But I mean, here's what you're getting before we even talk about that.
The reason I'm asking that is because I guess I really have a problem with the idea of top of the mountain.
Yeah, I am too.
Why is that?
So because there is no top of the mountain. Like we're talking about 3 bottles. This is a shitty mountain. Yeah. Like the world is your mountain. Right. Like there's
what
many things.
I see here, and what I see with this series we're doing, and maybe I'm different. Tell me if I'm wrong. But what I see with this series is I am an old Overholt guy. Like I'm a fan of old Overholt. And I like the 80 and I appreciate it for what it is. When we did it, that's what I was talking about. I like the bottle and bond and I appreciate that for what it is. And I don't think that bottle and bond makes the 80 any different. I appreciate it for what it is. There are 2 different bottles, part of a collection that I enjoy. Yeah. This one adds to that same thing. I would put them all on a shelf and be like, I like every one of these different, and for different times, I might grab a different one, but I appreciate them all and I really like them. I'm not going to choose one over the other and throw the others in the trash. I appreciate them for what it is. But what I'm saying is this one specific, and I think we talked about what are you getting out of the 80? There's some great things, right? What are you getting out of the bottle and bond? There's some great things. What are you getting out of this one? There's some really great things. If you were to force me, is this the best? In my opinion, is this the best out of the 3? Yeah, because you're spending more money, but you're getting a 4-year straight rye at 114. Yeah. That's great for the price. That's fantastic. If without this one, between the bottle and bond and the 80, which one's better? The bottle and bond. Why? Because for a little bit more, getting more proof and a 4-year versus a 3-year. But that being said, an 80 for at the time, it was like $12. I mean, now it's like 20, but that's a great deal too. Like I appreciate all of them for what they are. And there might be times that I don't think I would always grab the 114, there's a reason why I have all three. And there's times that I want an 80 proof old Overholt, and I like it for what it is. There's times I want the bottle and bond. There's times I want the 114. So I have a hard time saying that this is the tip top. And because if anytime you say this is the tip top, you're done with the other ones.
Right.
Right.
And we also have 2 more old Overholts.
Right.
So like,
But if
this
I
is
were
the
to
top of this
say-
mountain.
I don't think you've ever even heard me say this is the best pipe tobacco in the world, period. I've never even said that about, Frog Morton, because that makes all the other ones kind of like null and void.
Why try a new one? This is
Why
the best
even
one.
have a different one, right? I think depending on the occasion or what I'm having or what I'm doing, there's different pipe tobacco or there's different bottles for the occasion. Now, if there's one I don't like, because there's things I don't like, then I don't have them.
Yeah.
And I don't have them in my collection. I don't like them. And there's things that I don't like. There's pipe tobacco that I would not buy again. There's things that I've appreciated, but they're not for me. I'm not going to buy them. There's bottles that I don't like that they're not going to stay on the shelf. But I will tell you one thing: if I finish an 80 old Overholt, I'm buying another one. If I finish a bottle and bond, I'm buying another one. And if I finish one of these, I'm buying another one. I want all three. I want the option because I appreciate them all.
Yeah.
So, there's a rating scale in my opinion for these, but that doesn't make the other ones less important or null and void.
So you don't see them as stepping stones.
No, I really don't. You could see them as a stepping stone if you're progressing through a journey of bourbon,
Or we're talking rye whiskey, so like
bourbon, whiskey, whatever,
Right.
Whatever it is.
spirits, libations, whatever you want to call it. I call everything bourbon. These are ryes, yeah. They're not bourbons, but
Scotch bourbon.
Yeah, Scotch. I really do. Sometimes I do. It's whiskey, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I do think there is a progression here, but I think that there's a lot of people that don't start with that progression. There's probably a ton of people out there that have started with the bottle and bond. There might be a ton of people that started with this.
Yeah.
There's people I can think of that might get a little bit too hung up with the stats of something, and then they lose the appreciation for what it is. And then if you were to present them with the 80 proof versus like an 11-year-old old Overholt, they might really shit on the 80 proof. And I think that dismissing something like that, something that has stood the test of time, no less, since 1810, is really embarrassing. Because if you were just to dismiss something like that based on stats alone for something that just came out a few years ago versus something that stood the test of time since 1800s, like, come on. Like, I don't want to,
It's obviously good on something.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to get at. Like, it's amazing that they really they went from this to bonded, and they hung out for 50 years or whatever before they're like, maybe we should try something, or whatever. But, and they still but we still put out a good product. We're keeping this, you know what I mean? So something to be said. I have a hard time when you start saying this is the tip top of the mountain. Why have the others?
Yeah.
Right.
$20 right now is what
For this?
It used to be 24, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
So
No,
the 114 is the same price as the 80?
I was just about to say that's a hard sell. But what's cool too is you can have both, but I will say that is a hard sell because that should be cheaper.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's not worth it, but it's like, I thought this
it's
was
a weird
way more.
one where both of them are the wrong price.
Yep.
80 is too expensive and 114 is too cheap.
Yes.
Are you sure this is $20?
That's what OJQ says. Yeah. They may have it on like a last call thing.
I will tell anybody that's listening, this bottle for $20 is an absolute effing deal.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you should go out and buy a case. I need to go out and buy a case for $20.
That's pretty dang
Like,
impressive.
next time you see it for $20, let me know.
Pick it up. Yeah.
Other places are selling it for 35, and
That makes more
OJQ
sense.
is selling it for 20.
I could see.
I think it's last call
I
for
could see
OJQ.
20, 28, 35.
Yep.
If you're in
that's what I
Ohio,
could
you
see.
have to buy that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is.
For
It's
$20.
$20.
I mean, that is a no-brainer. All right. Well, we'll get into the history in the next episode. I think we've spent enough time
Have
on
we
this
beat
one.
Old Overholt dead yet? I don't know, but there's more to come,
There's more to come.
and we're not at the top of the mountain.
Are we sure? I don't know. We'll see. All right.
All right, gentlemen. Next time.
Next time.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.